Governance fits into PMOs in several different ways. Governance can be applied at the project level, at the program level, and at the portfolio level. And if you have a PMO that's responsible for managing the portfolio, then any component that's in the portfolio, be it a project or program or product or service, has to be managed, and managed in a way that ensures a successful outcome. So having the right metrics in place is really important, and having the right management controls or monitoring controls in place to ensure that the work's carried out in an efficient manner and at a very low risk and high quality manner is really important, and really the common purpose for having governance in place. What do I mean by governance? Governance is a word that can be thought of in many different ways. For example, monitoring, controlling something, or management controls. Governance also can be looked at as a way of kind of providing a level of oversight to a set of work. So as, for example, if you're a project manager and you're coordinating some work, you want to ensure that the scope of that work stays within the boundaries that have been established at the beginning of the project. Or even if you're on an agile project, that backlog is being monitored and managed in the right way, and the right prioritization is in place, and the backlog's being ranked and groomed on a regular basis. That also can mean that when you're in delivery, whether or not that's waterfall or even on an agile project, if you're doing something like Scrum and you're in the middle of an iteration, making sure that you have a burn down, and that burn down is very consistent. And if there's an opportunity to review, inspect, and adapt the work at the end of the sprint, for example, doing a product review or even having a retrospective, and of course, a sprint planning session, all those activities as a whole are things that you can actually monitor and control to a certain way to ensure that there's a successful outcome. Metrics play a key role in governance because they allow you to collect various data points. And those data points can be used in things like scorecards, for example. So if you're monitoring anything from the number of new initiatives that have been defined, the number of initiatives that are in flight, the number of initiatives that have been delivered, that's a great way of collecting some numbers on that. There's also maybe some soft metrics, for example, customer satisfaction. Is the PMO delivering based on its intended mission or purpose? And we could have some metrics around that. So metrics just kind of give you a way of guiding your plan in a sense. It allows you to see in somewhat quantitative or at least qualitative way some goals or some objectives that you're trying to measure against. For a PMO that's managing projects or programs, I think some of the key metrics are, one, the definition of how many projects they have coming in, right? Whether, again, what they are, how they are aligned to the organization, number of projects that have been completed. Of course, if you're looking at a portfolio, what is your total spend within that portfolio, and what are your actuals against that portfolio as well? So you can do that at a project level. You can also do that at the program level, but the portfolio itself should have some financial metrics to say, here's how much we plan to spend, and here's how much we're actually spending, and whether or not there's any variance at that level as well. So, and then there's also quality metrics. Has the business benefits that all this investment that we've made in these various components, are they starting to pay off? How do we get data on that to see whether or not we're meeting our actual intended business outcomes? So those are some of, I think, the key metrics that really help a PMO stay on top of the work and help report to the organization how it's actually doing against all the strategy that is trying to implement. I've worked with a lot of different PMOs throughout my career, and PMOs can be really beneficial in that they can provide a lot of support to you as a project manager and to other project managers that are attempting to carry out work within various organizations. There's a lot of work that's cross-functional, that has a lot of organizational impact, and a PMO can help message, kind of manage the organizational change management, as well as help you manage change to scope that may come in from various stakeholders. PMO can be kind of centered at that point to be able to provide really that value to you at the project or program level. They can also help identify new work that's going to come in, get you assignments into new work, as well as then provide career development from a PM standpoint. So there have been times I want to develop my career and I want to go from project management to program management, or maybe work in a portfolio management scenario. Within the PMO, they a lot of times can provide that career development opportunity too. So it's not always just managing the projects and doing the day-to-day work. It can also be from a career development standpoint as well.